Oh, hey everybody. We're three men on a bench, and we talk about Spanish. And today we wanted to talk about the verb tener. Yeah, now tener means to have. And I don't know if you ever thought about it, but you can have a lot of things besides a glass or a pencil or something like that. I mean, we use it in a lot of different ways. And in Spanish it's the same way. You can have a lot of things. He has a bad temper, or she has 5 years experience, or just there's a lot of things you can have, and you don't really have them in the same way. So just kind of think about that as we're talking about how the sensation of having, or the fact of having something, really covers a lot of territory. Okay. All right. Well, let's get into it. We did this one upside down. Like usually, we give you the Spanish word first, but we're gonna give you the English phrase to give you some practice of putting your thoughts into Spanish. Okay? Instead of putting your thoughts into English, which I guess is what you've been doing all along. Stop that. Okay, I'm 20 years old. Obviously, these phrases are all going to use tener, but because it doesn't say to be 20 years old, we're going to have to conjugate it. We're going to have to say I have instead of to have. So I'm going to say tengo, which means I have, and then 20 años, and then you don't need to say old, de edad. So tengo 20 años. Yeah, good. Tengo 20 años. There you go. I have 20 years. That's how you say I'm 20 years old. Yeah, and if you ever, if there's ever any grounds for confusion, you can add, de edad, of age to the end. Like that. Okay. So how would you say, I have to eat? Notice that, in English, when you say, I have to eat, it's like a F sound. But when you say, I have a car, it's a V sound. People don't usually say, I have to go. They say, I have to go. Just a little idiosyncrasy there. You want to take this one, salad boy?
Okay. I have is tengo. And then you gotta say que, and then you say comer. You don't just say tengo comer.
Yeah, there you go. You can think about how, a lot of times que introduces, a dependent clause, I'm so happy that she came. So maybe it's kind of like a that here. It's I have that to eat. That makes sense. I have that to eat. Not I have that apple to eat, but you know what I'm saying. Tengo que comer. I have to eat. Okay, and then you got I'm hungry. Again, these are going to use tener. So, well, let me just tell you, and then I got a question for you. Tengo hambre. That's I'm hungry. Remember, the H's are silent. And thirst is sed. It's S-E-D. So you'd say tengo sed. Just like that. So based on this, what does the word hambre actually mean? It can't mean hungry, because then you'd be saying I have hungry. So from that, we can figure out that hambre actually means, hunger. That's what you have when you're hungry. And sed would be thirst. I have thirst, meaning I am thirsty. There you go. And then in a similar way, if you want to say that you are cold or you are hot, for people, you don't use a star. For a car or the weather. Well, for the weather, I guess I would use hacer, it is doing cold, hace frío. But for people, use tener. You say I have cold or I have hot. So how would you say that?
Okay, it's we. So you say nosotros tenemos frío, and nosotros tenemos calor.
There you go. And of course, the nosotros is optional. Very seldom would there be any confusion. If you're saying tenemos, you know who we're talking about. But if you want to emphasize we're cold, so we are going to put on our jackets, then you might put a nosotros in there so that you can emphasize it. Because it's hard to emphasize a word that's not there. Okay? How do you ask somebody if they are afraid or if they are tired? Again, it's tener. So these words are actually going to mean, fear and, I guess, tiredness or sleepiness. So you would say, do you have fear or do you have tiredness? It'd be, tienes miedo? And then, tienes cansado? Not cansado, sueño. Cansado actually means tired. So you'd say, estoy cansado, I'm tired. I'll just put it up there. I'm confusing you. Tienes miedo is are you afraid, meaning do you have fear. And tienes sueño means are you tired, like do you have sleepiness. And that's like tired, like ready to fall asleep. Okay. Like, to in Spanish you don't say like I am lucky. You say I have luckiness or I have luck, which is called suerte. And it's related to like, sort, like in the sense of like, random chance. So like, tener suerte means to be lucky, and tener mal suerte means to be unlucky. And if you want to say I was so unlucky that, which is how a lot of jokes in Spanish start, you say tenía tan mal suerte que. There it is. And like the yo, because tenía could be like he had. Yo tenía tan mala suerte que. And there you go. That's how you say it. I said mal suerte, didn't I? Man, like gingers are hard.
Okay. Why is she in such a hurry? What do we have? It'd be like, why does she have such a hurry?
A prisa.
Right. Okay. ¿Por qué ella tiene tanta prisa? There you go. ¿Por qué tiene tanta prisa? And like, if you say ella, then like, there's no confusion. Like, who you talking about. There you go.
Okay. How do you use tener to say something like it's 3 meters long, or 3 meters tall, or 3 pounds, of heaviness? It weighs 3 pounds. Tiene 3 metros, and then you say like, de altura, of highness, of height. It has 3 meters of height. It's 3 meters tall. There's a good example of like how, we're using it is, and they're using it has. I guess you could say, and in English, sometimes we'll say, okay, it has 200 meters of height, or, I don't know, it's 200 meters of height, make it an imposing view. Right. Okay. Yeah, you can usually find a way to go both ways. It has or it is. You kind of ramble a lot. That's what I do. Okay. I had an appointment at the hairdresser's. This uses the phrase like tener hora, like to have hour. And like that phrase, it can be used in a lot of different ways. Like, in the dictionary, in my dictionary, it said that it means like to be on time. But like when I look for people using tener hora, it's like they use it to mean like I had an appointment, like a 1 hour appointment. So that's how we're using it here. But it could also be like, to have an appointed time, like, everything has its appointed time, or like, to be on time, like I said. But like, okay, so if you want to say I had an appointment at the hairdresser's, you just say yo tenía, or just tenía hora en la peluquería. Yeah, I think it's funny because like, peluca is a wig, so like a hairdresser's is like, a wig place. Even if you're going for your natural hair, kind of funny. Not really funny, but just, kinda. Okay. Well, we hope you come back and tune in for part 2 of 20 uses for tener in Spanish.